The summer of love.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today is a different video and I'm gonna be talking about my life. So I'm gonna be drawing my current life, the life that I am living and what I have accomplished so far and all the things that I have done. And yeah, this is just gonna be a way of connecting with everyone who watches the channel. So we're gonna be drawing my current life. So yeah, let us begin by telling you where I was born. I was born in the continent of Africa, in the country Uganda, and I think we are all familiar with. Do you know the way, the meme that is now dead? Yeah, that is where I was born. I grew up I think I grew up a very happy life. I don't remember being a grumpy kid. I was born on the 4th of July, also in, of course, a hospital. So yeah, that's where people are born. So nothing much there. And it was because of my lovely parents, Gerald and Doreen, that I came to exist in this world. And thankfully they still love each other dearly. And yeah, and they're the people who like kept me going through life. They're the people who kept on correcting me and all the things that I've done wrong. They're the people who have kept on being with me and helping me become better as a person. And I just want to thank them for that. Mom and Dad, if you're watching this, thank you very much. You're wonderful people. You're the greatest, and I just gotta say thank you for being my parents. So yeah, that's pretty much my young age, how I was born. And let me finish drawing my mom, and a little bit here. Excuse the drawing. And there is little Roro, that's me. I was inside her tummy. Yeah, then I was born like in a house where we have very strong Christian values, and that is, I guess, one of the things that has helped me achieve lots of things in life. Like that my parents have always taught me how to be good to others if you want others to be good to you, and it has helped me. It has made me a better person. I don't rage very easily. I'm kind of like a quiet kid, sit back on the side. And this house like brings back a lot of memories. One of them being, I did climb the mango tree that was right beside our house, and I did fall, and I hurt like the side of my leg. So yeah, that's one of the things. I guess that's the reason I stopped climbing trees, but I will make sure I start climbing them again, because climbing trees is the greatest thing in the world. And yeah, so that's pretty much how I was born. One memory that I think I will remember in the house that I was born is our two dogs, Striker and Lala. Striker was like kind of was kind of a dog that whenever you looked into the eyes, you'd see always like the stars staring back at you. Striker was like always the dog who was always there for you, and Lala was just like a fun dog to be with and play with. And they're always like putting their tongues out whenever you came back from school, whenever you were back from work. They're always there, and they remind me. They always have a special place in my heart, and I say they will always have a special place in my heart because a few years after of owning Lala, Lala she was killed by someone we don't know, but her food was poisoned, and Lala she died, and so that broke my heart because Lala was one of my best dogs. And then a few years later, our dog Striker, when he had come to Oman, striker left the house and never returned, and so we don't know where striker is. So after some time living in the old house, we eventually moved. My dad got a new job, and we had to move. And by moving, we left the past, and we had to go to the future. And that's one thing that I miss, because every time we moved, it changes things, it changes the environment and everything. But for the first time in a move, I had felt happy, because the school that I went to was Mbura School. It was a very nice school, and that is one of the schools that I love, because that was a school where I could connect with everyone. It was the most. It was the most. It was the most. I think that this was the peak of my childhood. I was the happiest. I was little Roro. I was extremely happy, and that's why I'll always have a very, 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 very special place in the school. The beginning years, I guess, were kind of like weird, because everyone had a best friend, and not having a best friend was kind of weird and sad. And so for a long time, my heart wasn't like complete, because I always had someone to talk to. Previously, it was either Striker and Lala, and then I had some other kids who used to live by our house, and that's like how I used to I used to know that this person was my best friend. And for some time, I didn't have a friend until I met Elizabeth. And I guess she is, if she's out there, because she became my best friend. She became the person that I will always remember as one of my greatest friends, and one of the people who helped shape my life. And we used to have this game. Well, from what I remember, we used to play games such as, I know it's kind of funny, but we used to play games where me and her would get married, and all those sorts of stuff. And all the other kids who would see us would want to telling us and tell the principal. And that was the greatest thrill, because we were always together holding hands. We're close to a couple, but our friendship was the strongest friendship that could ever have, that you could ever have. And I guess that everyone has it, but sometimes but one day I had to let go. It was again when I moved. That's the reason. Moving, I always hated moving, so I did move again. Went to a new school, and it was hard leaving people that you previously loved, and that broke me. And so for a few years in my new school, Montessori, I turned away from everyone and made sure that I did not speak to anyone. It wasn't me being angry at anyone, my parents. It was just me being shy, because over the years I had gotten so used to being in an environment where everyone was. I had gotten used to an environment where everyone had a friend for themselves. I was never used to having a group of friends, and so I guess I was shy. And that took a toll on me. And so for a few years, I tried to stay away from anyone. I didn't make friends, and but then I did realize that after some time, I needed to survive, and the only way to survive was having close friends, but to be by my side. And I did get close friends who I will always remember for us being the kids who were always late in the class, who were always active at games, and who were always gonna be doing something that would excite like that would excite us, and like the whole class will be eager to know what we're doing, and that made us friends. And those were that was, I think, the first group of friends that I had, a group friendship. And yeah, and that's why I think that's why I think I grew a lot having that big group friendship. Um, Another thing I think changed me was the traveling that I finally had gone through. Ever since being a child, I always dreamed of being a pilot, and we finally moved. This time, not in the country. We actually moved outside the country. We left Uganda and we headed for Oman. And I was happy. It was the greatest thing that happened to me. It was my first time ever flying, and my heart was beating as hard as you could ever think. I was extremely happy because this was the first time that I was leaving my comfort zone of my country, and I was going to explore. Um, Oman was a different place. It was a land of tall buildings. It was a place where there's a different religion, and most of all, there was just one thing that always like set Oman apart from Uganda, and it was just like the temperatures are just so hot. I mean, like it's as if the sun is trying to kill everyone on the surface of the earth. And to this day, Oman is pretty hot. Like today, the whole day was like 45 degrees, 42 degrees. I mean, what? Come on, why is it so hot? And thoughts began to fill my head. I was like, how am I gonna survive in a country that is this hot? And I've always been in a place that is an environment surrounded by trees and green hills. If you've ever been to Uganda, and you, I was lost. Like I was my expectations that I'd be happy in a new country. I had the first feeling of homesickness and I had never had such a feeling before, and that like really made me feel scared. I was in a new place, no friends, and the first school that I spent my lower grades was Beacon House school system, and the school has a lot of memories, but not so many that I think are there so much. All I remember is I had my favorite cousins study there with me, so I was kind of okay. And one of my friends, Abbas, who used to stay with me. But then the school that I think and that I'm currently studying in, BSM or Bangladesh School Muscat, is a school that is constantly changing me and reshaping me into a different person every day. This was the first school that I had gone to, which was huge. I had never been to a school that was that huge. I remember Montessori and Embora. None of these schools were huge as Bangladesh School, and it was like a whole new community. And every time you leave a school, you break friendships, and you don't expect to have you don't expect good stuff, and I guess that's what happened to me in BSM. All my life, I think, because of like the schools I had gone to, I was never bullied, and for the first time, I had couches with bullies, and I think these were like my dark years. I became pretty much a shell. I tried to keep myself away from everyone. I tried my best not to make any friends. I just didn't want to be where everyone else was. I just wanted to be alone because I guess I was afraid. And yeah, that's so for the few years that I was out of school. I think it was just like the the pain and the fear that was in me that kept me from making friends. I guess I became a loner, and that's what I was scared of. And and that's like, and then the word true friendships was no longer part of my vocabulary, and I didn't think that I could have any true friendships. And happy Rozzano was like no longer gone, and all left was just a loner kid. And I spent like most of my time as a loner, and I think that is what has like created the me that I am today. And I don't regret being a loner, but although I was a loner, I did realize that even though you are a loner, you still need friends. There are some people who will always be outside there, who'll be just the right people for you. And even though I had dark times, I did meet people who were there and didn't mind and didn't mind what other people said about me. And for a very long time, I had actually made good friends. And I wouldn't say that I was very happy, but I gotta say that I was happy enough that I could, and I'm still grateful enough that they could understand my pain, and they took their time to help me go through all the pain that I had. Well, I think it's year 6 that was my most memorable grade ever. Well, I was like about 12 years old, probably 11 or 12, but I was now getting ready for puberty, and I was not ready for what puberty was going to bring. Well, from my experience, puberty is just like an evil monster trying to kill all of us. And I remember waking up one day, and I just looked into the mirror, and all I saw was a zombie staring back. Like everywhere you touch on your face is just acne and soreness. And this was like the first time it had ever happened to me. And so puberty just pretty much sucks. I mean, like we all go through it at a certain age, and when I did mine, I hated it. And I'm still 14, so I'm pretty much still going through puberty. So every day I wake up, it's a new face staring back. Yeah, at 12 I was a preteen, and my mind began messing with me, pretty much. And I think that was the first time I had developed my first crush. My parents are gonna kill me. Yeah, so this is my first crush. All my guys who know me, I think you guys got the hint. And yeah, so I don't know if it was just, it was just like a crush. So like there was no, it was my first time. I was shy. I didn't get around to asking her or to taking things forward, because I was kind of like trying to be obedient to my religion and also to my family, and so I just didn't want to break their hearts. So by 12 years, when I was 12 years old, I also discovered YouTube, and YouTube was a site that was just amazing. It was a website that was different. It was a website that brought videos, or let's say brought the TV to your smartphone. And I remember pinning my eyes to my tablet for hours watching different watching different videos, mostly Vine, Rep Vine. I miss you, Vine. Vine. The main content creators I watched was Captain Sparkles, and I still watch him today. I love his way of shooting videos, and he has inspired me. Another person I watch is Superwoman, great influencer. She is amazing. And yeah, those are the two people that I think have influenced me the most. So YouTube became a question in my mind. wanted to start YouTube, but I wasn't sure of what I wanted to upload and what I wanted to like bring to the audience. And so for some time I just kept on staring at the YouTube cloud in my head, and kept on just going through YouTube trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I finally and it kept on going like this, and until I eventually started the YouTube channel where I do all the stuff that I do. And the thing is that grade 8, I guess, was the best grade that I have ever been in, because grade 8 was the time I finally, over a long time, left my say to myself that being a loner was not my calling. And so for the first time I rehatched the true friend's egg. I started believing that you could have true friends no matter what your circumstances are. And I finally decided that I wanted to have friends again. The reason I loved grade 8 so much was the fact that I was different. I was in a different grade. So we had like different sections, and so students, like different students were split into sections. So I was in the boys grade, so it was all boys. And then the bullies, not all bullies, but I say most of the kids who used to bully me were like put in a different class. And for the first time I felt safe and happy being alone, and I built my communication skills again. And my best friends at that time were Joy and Alip, the aka Kobator, in Bangla that means pigeon, because he one day called another kind of bird a pigeon, and from that day onwards we just kept on calling him Kobator. One of the things I remember us doing every day to Joy is whenever Joy left to go to the washroom, me and Alip, we would pour water on his chair and make sure that we keep his focus on us, and so that he would sit in the chair, and he would end up going home with his pants soggy. And for the first time I felt free, I felt happy. It was the greatest time of my life. And although I still hold a loner being close to my heart, I was still being a loner had broken my had broken my ability to socialize. I lost so many friends because many of them didn't understand what I was going through, and I didn't want to tell them what I was going through because I was afraid, and I didn't want to put other people through my pains. And so I became very unsocial, and till today, even till today, I'm still working on it. It's hard for me to speak to anyone easily. I just don't do it anymore, and that has become part of me. Being a loner has kind of shaped me to become part of who I am, and that is me. And I have kind of grown to accept being a loner because I have learned how to be independent, and I've learned how to rely on myself and not to rely on others. And the best part of being a loner is being alone makes you truly love yourself, and that is what I do every day. Like, you don't need to be told that someone loves you for you to feel loved, because if you love yourself, then I think that is the greatest love you can ever give anyone. Then my grade 9, it was a new experience. My grade 9, I had grown a lot. I'm currently in grade 9, so I'm 14, becoming 15. So Um, although I've grown, I still need my parents to help me with a lot of things because they're my parents and they've always been there for me, and those are the two people I can rely on. I also have a sister to love me. My sister is excellent, although we fight, although we get angry at each other, we're just friends. And the other people that I love are you guys. You guys are there for me, and I know it. And although being a loner may seem sad, it isn't actually that bad if you look at it in a good way. And alone is kind of happiness for me. So whenever I'm alone, people like my dad asked me one time, "What do you like? When are you happy?" And I say when I'm alone, and I guess that's true. And although I'm a loner, if you want to say that, I still do have friends, and my friends are different. Like one of my best friends, his son, who has always been someone who is trying to teach me everything that goes on in class. Like every second he'll tap my back and he'll be like, "Hey, do you understand that thing? Do you want me to teach you? So this is what you have to do." And I think it's kind of annoying, but yeah, it's really fun and then you have some of them who always want to spar with you and fight you, kind of like kickboxing and boxing, kind of like not to kill you, but like to make you happy. And so that's where temple comes in, and they're ones who make you smile. And one of the persons who makes me smile every single day is Allah. And my boy Allah, he is good at making you smile. He is one of the greatest people you can have close to you. And then there are ones who are always going to love and care for you. And I think those two people are my mom and my dad, and they're always. I think even though I have friends outside at school, even if I grow up and do have any relationships, I don't think that I'll put anyone before them. And you know that they're just like some who are just so lit. Yusuf, you are lit, my boy. You're lit, my boy. And and then there are those who, through all the time and through different, even though you've been separated from different classes, and you two have not talked a lot in a long time. Whenever you two meet, you just get back straight to friendship, and she has always been by my side, even though I didn't talk when I became a loner and we began to stop speaking to many of my friends. My friend at Klima, let's say she remembered me and she kept me in her heart, and she is the one who has helped me like with this YouTube, along with my parents and my other friends. She has encouraged me, and she has been there for me. And I just want to thank all of you guys for watching. I just want to show so much love to you guys. Hope you have a nice day. Hope you have a nice weekend from wherever you are. And yeah, bye.